All right, Daniel Manibog, California Baptist. You were at Oklahoma State, graduated, and then now are on there, and it seems like a pretty good situation for you. Kind of talk about what that transition's been like in going to Cal Baptist.
Yeah, so I graduated with my degree in business management from Oklahoma State last year in 4.5 years, and then I finished out my career there. And I just felt like God was calling me to finish out my career at a different place. You know, I love everyone at Oklahoma State, all the coaches, past and present. But yeah, it was just time for me to move on, and felt like God was calling me to California Baptist. Coach Moore, he's been amazing. He recruited me out of high school, so whenever I decided I wanted to go somewhere, I figured, I just wondered what it'd be like to wrestle for Coach Moore, and it's been a blast so far. Coach Munoz, he's a former Cowboy as well. We connected over that, and being Filipino as well, so that's been pretty cool. Bulldog Morrill and Tomasello have been awesome, and Coach Hardy as well. Everyone's been such a blessing. So yeah.
What's Coach Munoz been like? Because that's kind of an interesting dynamic. Yeah. Like you said, he's a California guy, but an Oklahoma State guy, and he's back out there.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been one of my favorite parts of CBU. We would always just stay and talk after practice, just about stories of Coach Smith or just being at OSU or anything, and we really connected over the past year. It's been a really cool experience. He's a really good motivator and just encourager. He's always encouraging, and he's always uplifting as well.
So it's kind of a unique dynamic when you talk about the transfer portal, because some of the time I think it's like it's the worst thing in the world. You see just really like maybe guys decide to leave a school and it doesn't work out, and it's really bad for the wrestlers, it's bad for the school. Some of the time it works out, and I think your situation is one that it's like, okay, this kind of, what was that? Were you kind of considering just graduating and moving on in life, and then came back to what led to that decision? As far what was that thought process and the things you kind of processed as you went through and made that decision?
Well, there were a couple of times where I could have entered. I remember the first time it opened for everybody, and then there was another option whenever Coach Smith retired, and I stayed for both of those, and then I went last minute because I was a grad student, but I just don't remember feeling at peace with my decision then, and that's whenever there's this movie called Secret Life of Walter Mitty. There's a scene where he's at a bar and he's trying to find this thing for his work, and if he doesn't find it, he'll most likely get fired. But there's a song by David Bowie playing called Space Oddity, and one of the lyrics says, "Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare." And that was just kind of replaying in my head over and over again. It was just kind of like, take the leap of faith and go. So just right before school started for CBU, I told the coaches that I was thankful for the opportunity, but it was time for me to go somewhere else. So I just took the leap and went.
Awesome. So with that, you guys are having an incredible year. I mean, I really I know you were at Oklahoma State at the time, but in the early transition to D1, it was a little tough for him. I mean, I can remember Derek and I were talking about it. First year, I think they won one match or something like that. And it was just a whole different. This year, you guys beat West Virginia, beat Cal Poly. It's really elevated at that program over the last few years. What's it been like, this experience with that team, and really having by far their most successful season as far as post D1 since they've joined Division One?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't there for the early years of D1 for CBU, but just everyone on that team is just super close. We're all friends. Everyone's been such a blessing, and we're just really tight-knit community there. And just the team energy is just through the roof this year, and we've had fun. They always emphasize wrestle free, just kind of no pressure, no expectations, just go out there and focus on scoring and high energy, and I think it's been working well for us. I think we're doing a really good job.
So you're a Texas guy, but really this is kind of close to home. I mean, compared to California, as far as getting to is your family getting to come up and watch and all those things?
Yeah, so my brother's still at Oklahoma State. He's driving down tomorrow for the start. My parents are flying up from Houston. So my sister's in college in Mississippi, so she won't be here, but she's here in spirit.
Is it kind of cool to have, get this to, with them, I guess?
Yeah.
And so, with that, what do you view as your most successful version of a tournament this weekend? What do you feel like you need to do to kind of hit your stride and do, I don't know, maybe qualify, whatever your goal is there?
Yeah, well, I just think that this is an opportunity that God's put in front of me. And my shirt says Wrestler for Christ, and that couldn't be more true. There's a movie called Chariots of Fire where there's a famous quote, and it says he's trying to tell his girlfriend that he wants to go to the Olympics to run. He's a runner, and he says, "I know God made me for a purpose, but He also made me fast. And when I run, I feel His pleasure." So I like to recite that in my head, and I like saying that, you know, I know God made me for a purpose, but He also made me a tough wrestler. And whenever I wrestle, I feel His pleasure. And that's what I feel like I have to do mentally, to just let it all go and just wrestle to my 100%. And I know I can. So.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I'll let you get back to your team. I know you guys are trying to get out of here, but appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.